Hey everybody, welcome back to another recap of 90 Day Fiancé L'Autre Way. We are on the 5th episode, and I will say Matt Sharp was in his bag in 2022.
What? I don't know if it was the caffeine catheters or what, but it's working for me.
Yeah, across the board, we it's been good times. Where do you want to start this week?
You know what? Actually, let's get Julio out the way because I hate him. So I'd rather just be done.
Julio and this Barbie is annoyed. So
Yes.
So you remember last time we saw them, they were beefing in front of his friend because, you know, his friend Vicente was like, you know, what if y'all fight? What if y'all beef? And then all of a sudden, Julio is like, well, you know, you're right. We should live separately and have two completely separate addresses and zip codes when I live in the Netherlands. That's going to be good, right?
Where I move to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, right. So, you know, Finnish Barbie was upset and was just like, no, this ain't gonna work. So the next day, you know, they're in the car. He's taking her to Jimbo's. I don't know where the fuck. And and they're still discussing the shit from the Halloween
They're at
party
Apollo
the night
Diner
before.
4.
Yes, number 4. So, you know, she's like, no, you meant what you said last night, like, all of a sudden.
I'm sick of all this. She's like, it's not even backtracking at this point, nigga. You're just scratching a record back and forth.
Because he's like, oh, I take it back what I said. She was like, no, you have a revisionist history of how this all happened. He was like, I don't remember saying that.
Also, hate to take it here, but taking it. Is the dick that good? Like, if you got flippy floppy ass energy, who's to say you don't have flippy floppy ass dick?
Yeah.
He just don't give
She's
me...
also...
He gives me this
she's
with
24.
the clit and like, you know, it's just like...
Yeah. I don't know. She's young.
She
and,
is.
You know... This is one why people say that they get dickmatized. I'd be like, that shit ain't real. That's for people who are inexperienced. You know what I mean?
No, it's
like,
true. It's true. You're right. You know what? And this is the time for you to make these mistakes. Like, don't be getting bad dick into your mid-30s and 40s.
Ever.
Like, at that point now, it's a you problem.
Yeah. You made this conscious decision.
Yeah, girl, like, you should have learned by now to stop wasting your time, human, on bad dick. But...
Exactly.
24, I guess, but not to move a nigga across the world. Now, no, that just seems like bad committed.
It's one thing to just move a nigga in, period, even if he live in Biloxi. But like,
I'm saying, I'm telling you, Jade went through that. So first of all right, divert real quick. So I never lived with a nigga. I lived on my own since early. Never lived with a nigga. Never. Not even the last nigga I was engaged to. Never lived. I was like, absolutely not. Like my space and my me time. My current and only husband. I mean, I said that sounds terrible. My current.
You Caribbean for real now.
My husband now. My only husband.
2 families.
Can you imagine? My husband was the first man to ever, for us to ever live together. And he did move into the apartment that I had because it was fly. And then from there, you know, we got our own space. But he tells me he will never, ever let me forget the day he moved in. He was like, do you remember what your face looked like? I was like, no, what my face looked like? He was like, shock, disgust, and all at the same time. He said, I was moving my bed in and you were like, Keep that energy fresh. Yes. So
I had the same thing. I had the same feeling. I was like, oh,
yes,
somebody's
because
about to
you
move in on my space.
too. Your current
Yeah.
only partner. Let me stop saying that.
The current only partner.
Your partner.
You gotta be, you gotta be specific in LA with that. They might be thinking I'm dibbling and dabbling
I'm
out
just
here,
saying.
which is not a thing.
You be at the spa.
No. No.
You be at a sauna. Okay, anyway. Moving
So
right
they're back at this diner, and he she orders hollandaise eggs benedict, and they have this weird stupid conversation about food, which leads it to, well, you don't, she was like, I like the pizza. I didn't expect to like the pizza. He was like, well, since you like the pizza, how about
First
do you want to
of all,
just
girl,
move to New
let's
York?
be clear.
It's not that.
Everything is better.
Like
everything is better. You have the freshest vegetables, and it's still better here for whatever reason. And I stand by that.
Yeah.
Did I cut myself?
Yeah. I mean, New York pizza is fine, but I mean, like, if for you to
I did.
just make that a thing to be like, oh, I'm gonna move here just for the food, like, sir, that was a weak, lazy introduction of to
Again,
you
it's a flip-floppy ass nigga. And he doesn't know how to... First of all, he says it to us in the confessional. He's like, listen, there's a lot of things that were presented to me that I just didn't consider initially. Because you're a liar. And you kept everything a secret from everybody else. So, like, let's just be clear on that. But... It is valid to say I didn't think about any of this stuff. Like, it didn't... Because you was thinking with your dick. And so, but this is also a wishy-washy, flip-floppy, feathery-ass way for you to have a conversation as opposed to just flat out saying, you know what, I understand that this is not coming across the best, but there are some things I didn't consider, and maybe we need to put a little bit more intentional thought into this. And it doesn't have anything to do with you. I feel I'm going to miss cultural aspects in my family. And there's just stuff I didn't think about. Why the fuck don't y'all know how to have a conversation?
right, because they don't talk. They talk about
She does,
small things.
but he doesn't. And I don't like defending no white
No.
woman. And yet, this season...
Yeah. Twice this episode, I was like...
It's like, the only thing I like twice is my baked potatoes. Like, why is this... Just why are you making me do this? Why?
Right. So, it leads into him asking, like, how about you stay here for like a couple months? And she's like, no. Like, I don't want to live here. I don't have a desire.
She's like, that's 2 months of the chance of me getting gunned down because y'all's laws are fucked up.
Yeah, shot at a fucking shopping mall because you can't have a spine and stand up to your mother.
Or because you don't have a spine with yourself. You don't know what you want. Because as soon as they get in private, he's like, yes, of course I want to move there. And she's like, bullshit, nigga. And then as soon as you get with your family, it's like, oh, y'all have a point. And there's nothing wrong with people presenting things to you in other perspectives that you did not think about. A lot of times we have a problem with only thinking in our lane, and we need some other perspective to help things. But the problem is that he don't know how to communicate, and it's irritating.
And it's way too late for that.
Yeah.
Too, like, if he would have been open and told his family that he was dating somebody and for over a couple of years and living with them for 2 months in their own country, I feel like this would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
He made it hard on himself.
No, it's true. It's true.
But that was them, honestly. She was like, no, I'm not leaving. And now we about to fight on our way to the airport because I don't want to fucking be here and you're tripping.
God bless.
Let's skip to Armando and Kenny.
Yes. They were also kind of short
that wasn't
but heavy.
long. Yeah. So, remember last time we chatted, they had a full sit down with the fam. His mama, Kenny, Hannah, Ivy, and him. And so they hashed it out of like why, he had to leave. Like, y'all weren't being supportive and all that jazz. So Armando and his mama had dinner, a private conversation that can fully clarify and get to like on some common ground.
Yeah.
He tells her, what I said was true and I'm not taking anything back.
He's like, matter of fact, I got more for you because I minced. So, which remember we were talking last time about how it's important for Hannah to be present for some of these conversations. And I understood, especially when they started talking, why he chose to have an even further in-depth private conversation with her because, continue.
They got to the nitty gritty. He was talking very, very candidly about mental health in relation to his coming out. So remember, Hannah's mother passed away.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he was still dealing with coming into himself.
Yes, he had just come out right before she passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so there was no support there. So he was feeling, he had some ideations.
And he was grieving.
He was grieving. And he put it so eloquently that Hannah saved his life in the sense that, he couldn't stand to see her be without loving parents. And it was already traumatic to have her mother ripped away from her. He couldn't allow that to have her father too. So, when him expressing that to us and not only his mom, she broke down and she softened a bit and she realizes that, okay, maybe I'm tripping. And I needed to, we have some shit to work on, as mother and son. So then they get all right, kind of, and then he kind of is like, I need my mama now. And he's like,
Yeah.
He's like, Kenny. He's like, so what you think about this move? And she was like, it's not up to me. What do you think? And he was like, the only reason I'm really thinking about this is for Hannah. Now, I didn't really think about this, like where she goes to school, where she is now. Like, I didn't think about like she's not necessarily involved or they don't necessarily have the type of same schooling structure as she would have in the city. But it also in my head, they live on the ocean. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe I have a false perception of what ocean life is.
I think they do live on a waterfront.
Like I know they live in a nice area.
Yeah, I too felt like it's some sort of waterfront situation. But it's far as fuck from everything. And even Kenny said that before. He was like, I take Hannah to school just fine. And that's 45 minutes away. Remember he said that a few episodes back.
Oh, wow. I know, I missed that. Well, then that makes sense.
When he was trying to prove that he would be able to adapt to Mexico City because he was able to adapt to, where do they live? Los Feliz? But how he was able to adapt to that lifestyle, including taking Hannah almost an hour to school. So why wouldn't he be able to adapt to Mexico City was his whole point.
Oh, well then that makes sense. Then.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, I gotta see what my husband says too. Like he uprooted his whole life and came here, and accepted me and my child and wants to have another, well, we'll get to that in a second. And we're trying to start a family and stuff. I have to really think about him now.
Yeah.
And it looks like they may be moving to Mexico City. Maybe. However, next episode.
Yes.
They apparently some shit goes down and with them wanting to have a baby. And it doesn't seem to me that Kenny wants to have another child.
No, which is understandable. Like I don't, and it's a difficult conversation, right? And a difficult decision to come to. But we'll get more into it next week.
Yeah. But I feel like they're gonna make it through. The gays, they always fight.
I think so.
Yeah. That was them. Where are we going next?
Let's go with Blanco, Priestess, and I Know Black Poppy.
I Know Black Poppy. Okay, that's fine. This was fun for them.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened. It was a lot more of Sandra and Lisette getting down to the business and being their
Let me tell you something, fans.
Their service
okay?
coordinator. They need a show, just them two.
And Tristan came in actually and watched like half of this episode with me. So when he saw them, he was like, "What's that? Her sisters?" I was like, "Tata, she's Blanquita." No, those are beautiful Puerto Rican queens. They were, but he liked their energy. He was like, he liked them too. Like they're just warm. We both know those women. And love them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, they feel familiar. Like, I know them.
Exactly.
Like, I've worked with them. They've been my coworkers. I've been to their house.
Like,
food. Yeah. All of it. So they go down to, they all meet up at the pool. Remember, they've been there for a day or so. And, you know, they're having a little cocktails and conversation.
And he really likes them. Which is an interesting point. He feels he stated how comfortable he feels with them, and he actually enjoys being around them.
And you can tell. This is, it also is a less threatening situation because they're women.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't talk about the why. This was just.
Yeah.
I did die when they all. First of all, we heard Yohan speak English for the very first time ever. And everybody treated him like he was 3 years old.
Yeah. Like that fucking gorilla who did sign language.
They're like, oh my. He goes, how was your day
like
at
Coco.
the beach? And everybody's like, ah!
Oh my God. Like when they got Tyra Bell.
Even though they probably loathed and were fearful of Tyra Mel because she was a terrorist. But anyway, continue.
So now they have a conversation from day at the beach to, so what's your life plan? And we knew this stuff already from over the years we've been watching them, how they have challenges with fertility.
Yes.
They want 2 children, but and she wants to, she's willing, it's just, and she feels like she's ready to do it and all that good stuff, but physically and biologically, there is just a 5% chance that might happen. So they want to find an egg donor, and she would be, and Danielle would be the surrogate. And Lisette was like, that's cool, but you don't got a job. And you light skinned and a woo woo. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
essentially.
You light and unemployed.
She said,
and
Lisette said, you have a 21-year-old son, which remind me to get back to that in a second. You have a 21-year-old son. You were a 22-year-old mother. You made all them, not saying your child is a mistake, but you went through all the challenges and made the mistakes so that you could get to this point in your life to not do the same shit. So why, again, are you choosing to do something the difficult way when there's all these variables to consider? Now, her son is a comedian. I did a little research. He's a comedian.
Really?
Here in the city. He tours around gigs at different comedy clubs. And there is a bit that he has about his mother being on 90 Day Fiancé. I'm going to tell you the funny parts. So he talks about her being on there and her being with a man who's just barely 10 years older than him, and how she's always loved Dominicans. This is not a shock to him because she's always loved Dominicans. He grew up with predominantly all Dominican people because his mother is fascinated with Dominicans, which I found to be really funny. But then it got racist because he says, so I guess she goes down to DR and, you know, she's on vacation and boom, a Dominican pops out the bush. And here she is now. And I was like, when you start, I know Black Poppy or not, when you start likening anybody with African descent and blood running through them to jumping out of any kind of bush, you have now hit premium prime racist territory.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yes, her son is a comedian.
What's his
in the
name?
city. Oh, I guess that would have been the good thing to write down. But if you Google Danielle's 90-Day Fiancé son, you'll see some stuff come up and is it Steven? It might be Steven.
Okay. Well, the next day or a couple days later or whatever, they all go down to the Rio, the river. Mm-hmm. And it's a big deal for Dominicans. It's where they go down and fellowship and have a good time. You know, it's their Jersey Shore, you know.
Yeah, he said he feels peace. Almost like, see, you don't even know the way Oshun be around you, but he feels peace and tranquila. I'm speaking Spanish and English at the same. So that's tranquila, tranquility. It's very tranquilo and all of that when they go down to the river, and that's their family time.
Yes. So on the way, they're in their Uber that they're driving, and she is like, she don't get in the water because she says she doesn't want to disrupt the flora and the fauna of her vagina. Now, I thought flora and fauna dealt with animals and plants.
Nigga, Flora and Fauna is a cafe in Lisbon, Portugal that has fabulous avocado toast and great coffee drinks. Like, I was like, we also forgot in that conversation by the pool, this nigga said he thinks the best way, because she was talking about the pressure of not being able to get pregnant naturally, or the percentage being very low for her. And this nigga was like, yeah, but God directs our steps, and if it's meant to be, then he's going to make sure it happens or whatever. And said, you know, I think the best way to increase the chances is to have sex every day. And I want to have sex every day. So every time that she's ready, I'm ready to go. And she feels pressure because every time there is a physical discomfort, he's like, is it a baby? Is it a baby? Is it a baby? And while I don't like anything about her, that's a lot. Unfair. That's a lot on somebody to be doing that. Hell, Noah does it to me all the time. I want a sibling. When am I going to get a sibling? Can I have a sibling? And I'm like, first of all, chill the fuck out.
Go on Wayfair and find one.
Right. The cabinet. No, that's terrible. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that. This is YouTube. That's terrible. No, take it out. So, but that's a lot of pressure on somebody, especially when they've already been having complications around that particular subject. Mm-hmm. But back to the flora and fauna, because our friends made fun of her as fuck.
They cackled and macackled. They were like, "What was that? What? Why can't you go in the river? Why can't you? Why? By flora and fauna? Really?"
She's like, "I have to test my pH, and I have to test the river and make sure there's not too many toxins in it, and so forth." And
girl, maybe you need to dip in there. That might get you pregnant. You know?
That's what I'm saying. I like maybe we do some testing in the middle of. No, that's not. You can't say that either, Jade. I don't know, like Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says, "Let's go down to the lake." You say, "Okay, let's go down to the lake." I'm going to test this lake because I don't know what the fuck is going on in this Midwest. Y'all be pumping pig shit all over the place and all kinds of shit. But
now, personally though, I'm not swimming in no still water. That's just not for your girl. Like I've done river rafting and shit like that. You know, but I'm not, or like in kayaking, but it was moving, right? It's not frolicking in lake. No.
No.
It's not for your girl. But anywho, he's out there just cheesing and shit and just so happy, you know. He loves being around his family and all 900 nieces and nephews. Lisette and Sandra was like, "Oh, this is like my house." Like
they were like, "We love this shit.
Puerto Rican, but it's cool.
We love this."
But then we learn that she wants to raise the kids white because she said that whenever they have kids, that she has a problem with discipline, and you know she has challenges with that. Which in my head, I'm like, you're a teacher. How do you have troubles with discipline?
Well, she says she's gonna be more of the disciplinarian because she likes a certain level of control, which we.
Oh, I mixed it. I thought he would be the more disciplinarian.
Oh no, she was like, I'm gonna be the controlling, like trying to make sure things get in order. And she's like, the issue is that I do not want to raise my husband and my children because he's gonna be the lenient one who plays all the time and does all the things. But we also know she's controlling.
Yeah, she's the type to put her child on a leash. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Without question.
But that was them.
Yeah.
Let's end with Michael, Sarah, and Mary, and go on to TJ and Kimberly.
Okay.
So we back at war. You know, she's just sitting there, like trying to figure out, you know, where life went wrong. And he comes in, just sing-songy and dopey and full of life. And he was like, you know, I apologize for walking out. And he says, you know, I walk out because I want to be calm and I don't want to be angry with her. And I know that that's not the right thing to do, but I just needed to get out of there. And so he encourages her to like, let's go for a walk and talk this out. Because now he is ready to talk to her calmly.
Yes.
Because everything is on his terms.
Yes.
So his first words were like, you feeling good outside? No. She was not into this at all, but she understood, like, you know, go for a walk inside. So then they sit on a curb and they try to reason with each other, and they have like, you know, surface level things that they teach you in therapy or like in counseling. You know, I feel like, and when you do this, I feel, and all that jazz, right? And, you know, he's very peaceful and Indian, and she's American. And like, that's pretty much their main differences. She says to him, like, hey, I'm not really trying to disrespect you. I just talk this way. I may be aggressive and stuff, but you gonna have to, like, figure this shit out. And she does tell him something super important. She's like, another issue that I have is that now it wasn't just us fighting in this argument. You ran downstairs and told everybody, and they heard, because I did not know that there was a ladder on the outside of the thing that people could just crawl up into, which is something else, right? You didn't see when they went up for a walk, there was a ladder outside?
That was to their house?
Yeah, that's not how they get in though. They have stairs in there,
right?
But the wild part is they don't have glass on the windows.
No,
and there's
I know.
a ladder right there, so it's like
niggas could just scale and walk up if they wanted to.
I don't know the safety and shit of Jaipur, but I wouldn't even want to do that in the safest part of any place.
We might be jaded, honestly, friends.
I guess, but then also. I don't know. It's still a breezeway because there still ain't no damn door on the bathroom. So it's, again, niggas could just look in there and see me shitting.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, he tells her that his family is now low-key involved in this argument that they had. And she was like, that's not fair. Like, I this is the issue that I have living with you, and this comes back later. And she was like, I deserve to have my own arguments and fights and make up sex and shit with my husband and not have to deal with my mother-in-law and shit and being a part of it.
Yep.
So the next day, it's time to start the wedding ceremony stuff, which, you know, in Indian culture, beautiful thing, but it's like 90 days long.
Yeah.
So they starting this week now. His mama got all the aunties together and, you know, was making flowers and all this and made them come downstairs and bless them because she was like, oh, I know some shit is awry. So
this is the day of Ganesha Pusha ceremony, which is the start where they have to do. They was blending up cow dung, soil, and turmeric to make a blessing for all of this. But the mother also was like, and apparently old girl texted her as well and was like, I just want to make peace before, you know, we start getting into the shit. Because, you know, I know things went left, but mom's never responded.
I'm practicing for the end of this because there was fireworks. And so I... practicing my props. So, yeah, his mama ain't slick. She's like, she's low-key living in fear, waiting for me. Because she's like, you know, I'm going to play it cool. This is not the right place to address it, you know. But she just be aware that I have words for this bitch. And she's going to have to, you know, walk on eggshells with me until I say it's time to chat.
Thank you.
Right. So there's more rituals happening throughout the day. Some with just her, some with the both of them. And towards the end of the evening, they privately, TJ and Kim have a conversation outside. And she was like, you know, today was cool, whatever. He was like, you know, how was it? You had a good time? And she was like, yeah.
Yeah,
cool,
I don't know what's
guess.
happening. Because I don't understand that either. Why has he not broken down what each ceremony and day means for her so she's not just out here confused and smiling all over the place?
That happens all the time. That happens in every iteration of this show. Like let's get married and have like in your traditions and customs, and they just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. Like, remember Aladdin and the white lady? Hell, even Jenny and Simi. Like it's just, you know, so much stuff. She asked, like, so what do women do here? Like what do y'all do during the day? He tells her, oh, glad you asked that question. It's like, you know, it starts up with cooking and cleaning, and then the women go to the market, and there's more cooking and cleaning and child rearing and all that good stuff. And he was like, I know you not really all that interested. And she was like, that shit is for the birds.
Not at all, nigga, actually.
Not interested.
Again, why are you all having this conversation? Now, he admits to us that he was low-key deceitful. Because he was like, I just figured, you know, we'll talk about this. Let's get the marriage out of the way and make sure we lock that in. And then we can talk about all of that stuff.
You got to work out the fine print now.
And she's already telling you she's not with whatever regiment that you all are on. So this is about to be a problem.
Right. Like, you can't hide your culture because you're afraid of her reaction.
Yeah.
That is a recipe for disaster.
She's still an American woman, and she will leave you even after y'all are married if this shit does not rock.
Yeah, easily. So, and I'm sure the Indian government will make it easy for you to get rid of that marriage because of the fact that she's white and American.
Exactly.
So, remember her and his brother don't have the best relationship. Mm-mm. She describes it as cordial, which, okay, sure. I say she tolerates and he hates her.
Yeah, that's what it seemed, because this nigga be ready to jump out the window with her.
So TJ had to work, and she needed more accessories for her wedding stuff. So he was like, fine, let's go together. So he takes her to the shops in Jaipur, gets her some cute threads and some cute, accessories. And then they go have, I guess, a chai on a roof somewhere. And this is when all hell breaks loose. So he's like, you caused a lot of trouble in the house. He was like, I don't understand, my brother has sacrificed things for you and yada, 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 and you're ungrateful. And she was like, I'm giving up everything, for him, and I can't make garlic and onions in my own home. She was trying to make him understand how he's given up stuff, how she's given up her whole life. He was like, well, he's given up stuff too. And he was like, I'm not going to make a list, because he was losing the argument.
Because he kept trying to make it about the garlic and onions. And she's like, this is not about the garlic and the onions. This is about how I am making space and allotment to and move over here and do all these things, and the few things that I would like to do for my convenience and my pleasure, I can't do because it interrupts what's happening over here, which something you have to consider before you make decisions like this. So, there's only so much onus I'm going to put on. But also, she's not wrong. I died laughing though when he was like, garlic and onions. How good is this? It must be delicious. Like, I have to.
Yeah, it must be tasty. Yeah, because she just gave up and was like, yes, it's about getting onions and garlic.
Yeah,
because he refused
trying to get the
see
point
past. Yeah, and then it escalates because he was like, it sounds like you and you American girl, and if you want freedom, then leave. And she's like, that's not the point. Like, I don't want to live under your rules. Like, am I gonna have to listen to you for the rest of my life? And he was like, yeah. She was like, oh no. So then it escalates even more. And she was like, no, I don't accept that. And he was like, well, you're being stupid right now. So I guess that's white woman's aggressive.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't call me.
But which I mean, as a black person, don't call me fucking stupid.
Don't call me stupid. Don't call.
Yeah.
If we not friends and we sitting here being dumb together, nigga, you stupid. But don't seriously call me stupid. I might slap the motherfucker out of you.
Yeah. She was like, I may not understand, but don't ever fucking call me stupid.
Yeah.
And she said it in that tone where she may or may not blow up a building, So.
True.
The McVeigh voice. The McVeigh tone.
I'm warning you, buddy. It's like, ooh, you better
listen. Yeah. And he just gets up and walks away because he's losing an argument, and he hates the fact that he's losing an argument to an American white woman, a woman. He hates every bit of it.
Now, I find it interesting, though. I don't want to give her too much now because I know she's going to, as soon as I do that, something is going to happen. But she's pretty self-aware, right? She acknowledges that she gets heated quickly. She tries to meet TJ halfway with his stuff. Even with the family, she's not asking for things that are super entitled. It's just this clash of cultures that we talk about a lot on this show, because there are many things that are not discussed ahead of time. But I forget what my point was. There was a point to that, but I forget what it was at this point. But she's not unreasonable. She's not an unreasonable person. That's what it was. She admitted initially, she was like, the reason why I think we're always just there's friction there is because we're very similar. It was either her or who was it? Her or him?
She was talking about her future brother.
That's what I'm talking about. The brother-in-law.
Yeah.
She was like, we're both this, we're both this, we're both this, and so that can lead to some clashing, oftentimes. But she tried to maintain her composure through that conversation. He's the one who let it go left.
He did. And next week, he's about to do even more.
Because even TJ's about to be done with his shit.
He just don't like her.
No, he don't like her. That's really what it boils down to. And I mean, listen, your prerogative. But he doesn't. Right. He don't like her.
And I also had to come and reckon with this idea of individuality and community. Because he was like, you always focus on individuality. That's so American, where we don't have that. We don't have that here. And I'm like, she was like, well, that's the problem. And in my head, I'm like, you can't say that.
You can't say not. This is their culture, and you have chosen to come be a part of that culture, and that is also a part of this. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't ask for certain compromises, because also you are, shifting your whole life to be with the person, and they should also consider you. But you can't ask somebody to cut cultural stuff off the same way that you don't want them to cut your cultural stuff off.
Period.
So,
but anyhow, that was them. Because next week,
next week the brothers fight.
And TJ is way too emotional for this might break the family.
And Yash is low-key an asshole, so I'm curious to see how this turns out.
So that was him.
Ooh, Harry Potter and Mary.
Yeah. Alan and Mary. Because Michael Cera was Alan and Barbie. The roosters are roosting. Okay. It is morning. He is waking up to the
chickens,
royalist of blue balls, and
I said he was uncomfortable because he was horny. That's all.
He was like, I slept okay. He was big time horny, and the bed wasn't necessarily the most comfortable, and there was roosters are roosting because that's just what they do. He finds out that he woke up and she wasn't there next to him. And he was like, what's up with that? And she was like, I'm not necessarily comfortable sleeping with you like that. Like, you kept trying to and I just, it's different. Yeah. Because he was like, but we've been on the phone like every night for the last 2 years. And she was like,
not the same.
That's different.
Yeah.
Right. That was then, this is now.
Oh, but let me tell you something, honey. And she's not wrong in that.
No, not at all.
But baby, Miss Mary is a piece of work. And she got a little bit of that white woman cry syndrome. Cause she loved to make sure very like, no, I'm shy or I'm. But you're a piece. Yeah. Victim. I'll say it, no cough. You like to play that. You like to play that, and it's. I'm peeping game.
Right. So, he's super disappointed that she ain't trying to be intimate right there. Like, he done put on his pair of thieves drawers and all that stuff, and she's like,
his push-up drawers.
Not now. You're right. So, she make him breakfast. Leftovers, chicken adobo, all that jazz. And she decides to feed him to show him that, like, she's interested, but she just didn't want to, like, fuck him on the first night.
Yeah, she also says she's feeding him to get him fat. She's like, I'm trying to fatten him up because I want to cook him and eat him so that he's with me forever.
Yeah.
No, she's like, I want him fat because he's going to be better to cuddle. And I'm like, okay. So she's shoving food in his mouth like Wilbur and the fucking
like
farmer.
Hansel and fucking Gretel.
I was
just
like,
enough to fatten
you
you
better
up, my
make sure
dear.
she's not leaving a trail of lumpia behind her just to make sure your ass. You better watch your surroundings, young man.
Gotta watch.
She's trying to cook you and eat you with that caribou. So,
okay.
After she's done force feeding him, like a baby goose, they are going out to the farm for him to work with Lolo, her grandfather, for the day because he's going to eventually have to completely learn how to farm in order for them to sustain themselves. He was under the impression that farming would include him trimming branches and throwing seeds like Jack and the Beanstalk and
shit that you give kids
frolicking.
his age to do.
Right.
That's like what you give teenagers to do, like for $20 an hour.
What he found out he will be doing is preparing the mud for the rice, which means that they have good ass fucking rice because, you know, the Carolina gold rice is so good down here because it's grown in the swamp as opposed to like rice that's made in Arizona or whatever. So,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. I have no idea how rice is grown. Like, I didn't know. I have no idea how rice is grown or tea because, well, I know it's a grain or like wheat. I have an idea of like a cartoonish idea of where it comes from, but I just don't know for certain.
So,
like, where does rice come from?
When I went out with Roland Chalmers out in Hardyville, South Carolina, he grows Carolina gold, and we went to the farm / old plantation where he does it, and there is swamp terrain, and he sows the seeds in that swamp terrain, which is what adds to the magic and like the flavor and all of that of Carolina gold rice Charleston gold, because some rice is grown in drier conditions. Like, people have learned to grow rice all over the place, but it's particularly the flavor palette is different when it's grown in swampier conditions. It's better, it's nuttier, it's tastier, but it's crazy because it's a literal ass swamp.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Huh.
Alligators out there and shit, snakes. He got, and because his plantation has fresh water, his farm, but as I was out there, I was like, this was fully a plantation. His farm has swamp, and it has fresh water like river, and it also has salt water because of it bordering. So it's very interesting because when the salt water gets into the fresh water, he said that can fuck up the rice. So he's got to do this thing where he filters the salt water away from the fresh water. Like, it's very fascinating. But we find out from Harry Potter or Alan that he's got to ride the caribou, and somehow that apparatus between the caribou and this thing prepares the mud to plant the rice.
He was tilling mud.
Yeah.
His grandfather or Dionisio don't think that he cut out for this type of work. He thinks,
he's an American pussy.
This ain't gonna work out.
Yeah.
Exactly. You need to go work at H&R Block or whatever.
He's like, I'll teach you. I'm gonna teach him. No, he's gonna learn.
I mean, it's his farm. Low shade. But nobody wants to talk about it. So, anywho, I I don't know why this is a thing for him, but he was like, I want to be honest with your grandfather. And I want to let him know that we've been tonguing each other down because I don't want any type of secrets. And I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of being on the DO.
I think.
And she
please
said,
shut up. I think production got in his ear because they wanted more from them. And was like, you know, her grandparents are going to see that kiss. So, are you going to be a man and tell him ahead of time?
Yeah. Yeah, because she was like, this is out of nowhere. And no, shut the fuck up. Like, no. And then, but then I don't know, because he says the most white man thing ever. He says, well, I feel your grandfather would appreciate the hard truth. You don't talk to him because you don't speak the same language. So therefore, you don't know this man.
At all, actually.
He runs your farm. I consciously say this because I want people to know that this low-key might be monitored.
I know.
Like, I want Mary and her family to get free. But I know that it's, it was circumstantial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also, yeah.
Get free.
We got to stop giving these white men this power to be able to come in and just fully just take. Stop selling white people your brownstones. Anyway, so
so they after they do the mud shit or whatever, his boots get stuck and it's like hello whatever.
That's why she told you to wear them fucking boots.
Yeah, right. So he the afterwards they get to work and they're all sitting down on the porch. And he's like, I want to respect you as a man, but I want you to respect me as a man. And then he turns to her as like, can you translate and say, I'm like that we kissed? And she was like, right now? Like, and the face in her facial expression was so confused. It was like 48 question marks. Because she was like, nigga, we just talked about this. No, shut up.
I would have translated the wrong shit.
I would have said he had to go to the bathroom or something. Or like his favorite song is Sweet Caroline, Because we all know what it is. Or Angels Deserve to Die by System of a Down. It's all of the same playlist.
Yeah, or like what's the other one? Anyway, continue.
Chop Suey, not Angels Deserve to Die. It's called Chop Suey. Anywho, he was like, yeah, so we kissed. So she translates, and in true Matt Sharp entertainment fashion, her grandfather was like, okay. He was mad at first.
He was mad.
Like, off camera, but then she was like, well, you gotta ask for permission. Then he asked, like, can I kiss your granddaughter? He was like, yeah. But then he was like, well, since y'all kissing,
we're gonna go ahead and get this wedding planning going.
So what y'all looking at? You want like 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now? Like, we got to get the ball rolling.
Right? And he's like, I did not get this bitch pregnant. I literally just kissed her and I have to start planning a wedding. You also bought her family a farm. So the milk and cow
call it Walton's farm.
Analogy is actually quite literal here.
It is. How about that? But yeah, he's so confused as to like why I gotta like get married now. Like, I guess they believe kissing leads to pregnancy.
Spooning leads to forking. So. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess. But the next part, the final part, was hilarious to me.
She's taking him to the beach to meet the dolls.
My note says she's taking him to meet the dolls on the beach.
Yes, honey. And she's nervous, and I'm like, girl, why you?
Because as soon as he saw them, he was like, oh.
Because me and Pong can share clothes. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Had a serious tunic, okay?
Loved it.
So they all go out on the beach. She's gonna meet. They're all gonna link up. So they're sitting down, and Destiny's Child rolls up. And he looks at them and he's like, okay, whatever.
More like
And then it's
702.
like, hey. Yeah. And so they sit down and
Question for you real fast. Did you wonder to yourself how he was affording that meal?
yeah, because he only showed up there with like $20
With
and
like
a ham
right,
sandwich.
like $23 and some video
Yeah.
games, some Blockbuster rentals.
So maybe they sold some rice that day, and they had they had a little extra overhead, and he was allowed to trick off on her and her friends.
Or he sold a little
And,
ass.
that too.
To an American soldier.
They have a unbalanced and unfair conversation about trust and friendship. Because he's like, so you're allowed to have friends and stuff and all that good stuff, but I'm not. And she's like, well, they're my friends from baby's diapers. You just met these other bitches and friends like 3 weeks ago.
He also says that when he would make new guy friends, she would block those too because she'd be concerned about the sisters and the girlfriends. So
she's weird.
He wasn't allowed to have any friends at all. Like none.
She's a super weirdo.
She's the one. They both have insecurities because they both admitted it. He said he has trust issues because of previous relationships, but it sounds like a lot of his doing, and I hate saying this, is because of her. He's like, girl, I was jealous when you would go out with your homeboys because you got to go out with your homeboys and like have a good time.
Of them.
But meanwhile, I can't even make friends who are homeboys. Like I can't have any friends. So all I'm doing is sitting on the phone with you. So,
right.
702, Lamisha says,
yeah.
Were you aware that she would turn that router off and turn that phone off and tell you that her power was out?
It was very much like where's my shade rattle? Hold on.
Oh, you have one? I love it. Shake it.
I can't shake it. It's just
So
that's exactly what happened when that dropped.
So all of it, neck snaps, and here go Mary. I'm shy. Same thing she said when he said to tell her grandfather that they've been smacking face. She was like, I'm shy. I'm sad. And he's like,
it's my first time.
Skirt, bitch. You was for real doing that? He's like, wait a minute. There ain't been no power outages since I've been here. And she's like, there's going to be some, just you wait.
Just you wait. All of a sudden you see her unplugging the fucking generator and shit. See, power outage.
With show, I said, you don't give a fuck about the rest of your family. You just want to make sure you get your agenda done, so you take the fucking everything. Her grandparents probably don't.
Exactly. Greatest thing ever.
So of course she's able to flip it around, and she's like, I'm so sorry, like, I don't know what to say, I just get so crazy. And then the friends feel bad, okay? Here come, what's her name? It was Lamisha, and what was the other one's name? Irish. She come, Irish come through. So we weren't trying to fuck your relationship up, but our girl is wildin', and we just want to start y'all off on a clean slate. That's all.
My note says her friends are some shady gays,
Absolutely.
and he is pissed.
Absolutely.
Because that was some shady gay shit.
Even them saying, we just wanted to make sure that that's not y'all's business. That's not
not at all. Who is y'all?
But then they come through. I just realized, I was like, outside of certain countries, we all operate very differently, right? There's certain places is a communal train of thought. So they asked her, they were like, all right, so what's up with you all getting married? Like, you about to get married or what's up? And here come Pong. Stop talking about marriage, because when these niggas go off and get married, which I was confused.
Right.
Are they? Is the Philippines homophobic? You know how some countries are not?
I wonder if they operate like Thailand, in the sense of they have like a community, like anywhere else. There's
a community everywhere, but you know how, like, in the Caribbean is staunchly known for being homophobic to the point where it's violent and egregious. But then you have Curacao, which Curacao, I've been told, is not a homophobic island. So I just wondered.
I feel like every place is homophobic. It's just varying degrees of.
It's like racism. That's fair, actually. Sad but fair. But yes, Pong tells them to take their time while the others are like asking and kind of rushing it. Pong is like, well, I think you all should take your time because you still get to know each other. You just got here. Like, it doesn't need to be a rush. And then they all pinky promise that they're gonna, keep calm and move forward.
Keep calm and press on. But yeah, that was it for this week. Next week's about to be a doozy.
Oh yeah. Can't wait. Because I feel like he's going to get home and be like, no, we're not done with this. And then we see
no, this is going to be the demise. This is going to be the start of the demise of them.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So, until next time, bye.